study with the story Quality by John Galsworthy. This story is a first-person narration. Means this story also is narrated by the perspective, by the point of view of a narrator. At this beginning of this story, the narrator is a small boy, and by the end of the story, he will be a grown-up man. Now let's see this story. See what happens usually. Quality, as the title suggests, quality. There used to be some people who are so honest to their profession that they don't compromise with their quality, and such people are very hard to survive. Survival is very hard for such people. Why? Because this time is a time of advertisement. The people advertise and they go very fast. Now let's see what happens here in this story. I knew him from the days of my extreme youth, because he made my father's foods, inhabiting with his elder brother two little shops into one. Underline, inhabiting with his brother two little shops let into one in a small by street. Underline. Now, what the narrator tells you, that the narrator had known him from the time when he was in his extreme youth. He was a teenager boy, and why he knew him, because he made this person, the boot sellers, the person, shoemaker, he knew him by the means he used to make the boots of the narrator's father. He used to sit and make and sell in a shop that was two shops. They were made into one, and they used to sit together. Both the brothers, Chesler brothers, they used to sit together there, and they used to run their profession. In a small by street, now no more, but then most fashionably placed in the West End. This shop, it is now no more, but at the time it was one of the most fashionably placed at the time. That tenant had a certain quiet distinction, means that person, the owner of that shop, he had a certain characteristic. What characteristic he had? There was no sign upon his face that he made for any of the royal family. There was his own German name of Chesler Brothers, and in the window a few pairs of boots. Underline this. Start underlining from tenant had certain quiet distinction, and underline till a few pairs of boots. Whatever we are underlining, you have to learn it by heart, because these are the key words that you will be using while answering the questions. What this different quality of these Chesler brothers is given here, that they never had. Usually what you see is, even if you go to a shop or this juice shop, you will see on the signboard there they used to put some celebrity taking juice, or they means there is some or the other symbol that they used to work for some celebrity or some royal people or something like that. But for these brothers, it was quite different, and they never had any sign that as if they were making any boots for some royal people. I remember that it always troubled me to account for those unwearing boots in the window. Now, the narrator remembers that he was always troubled with the fact. Usually what happens, when you get something, you can complain of the fit that it's getting to be misfit, or it's finding this at this place, or it's getting damaged at this place. You can complain something or the other, and you can get a new. But here, as it was, there was no such chance forever. He has to wear it for long years, because it was as the same as it was bought. Troubled me to account for those unwearing boots in the window, where he made only what he ordered, reaching nothing down, and it seemed so inconceivable that what he made would ever have failed to fit. Now what he says is, usually he had a problem, like when you go to a shop, what happens in the window, you can see the display of so many things. Means a variety of things, you can choose from them. But here what happened, he used to make only what was ordered, and in such a condition you have to place your own order and get it. And he never let any book enter there. He never never displayed what was not ordered, what he had not made himself. And whatever he had made was never ever possible that it will not fit properly. Had he brought them to put there, that too seemed inconceivable. Means that was also if you feel like whether the person had bought them those shoes to put in the window to display them. Actually, that was also not at all believable because it was not possible. When the person is not even taking name of someone else, then how can the person tolerate the work of someone else to be put there to display their art? He would never have tolerated in his house leather on which he had not worked himself. He had never ever let the others leather enter in his shop. He had only displayed or worked or sold what he himself had made. Besides, they were too beautiful. The pair of pumps so inexpressibly slim, the patent leather with cloth tops making water come into one's mouth. Tall brown riding boots with marvelous silky blue, as if though it knew they had been worn for 100 years. Now, the narrator is just describing the boots that was displayed over there. These boots, they were so marvelous, so slim and patent leathers with cloth top and such a marvelous looks, means dull finished, dusty looks. And yes, they were so new, but you can wear them as if that was being worn for 100 long years. Those pairs could only underline, those pairs could only have been made by the one who saw before him the silver boots. So truly were they prototypes incarnating the very spirit of old footgear. Means these boots, they were such a beautiful prototype, such a beautiful example of boot making, as if the person who has made these boots has seen before him the spirit of boots. These thoughts, of course, came to me later, though even when I was promoted to him at the age of perhaps 14, some inkling taunted me of the dignity of himself and brother. Yes, these thoughts like he had, as if he had seen the soul of the boots and such a great artist he was. These all the thoughts that came to him afterwards. But when he was promoted to them, yes, he was just a teenager, he was just 14 years old, but still he had a very great respect for the shoemaker. For to make boots such boots as he made seemed to me then and still seems to me mysterious and wonderful. What the reason is there for such an ideal respect and feeling for the shoemaker? Because the boots that he made, that was really so awesome, so good, and it seemed as if it was a mysterious task, a magical task. I remember very well my shy remark one day when stretching out to my youthful foot. What happened? When he has stretched out his youthful foot, he has given his foot to just measure it for making the boots for him. When the bootmaker, when the Jessner brothers, they were measuring the foot, the narrator gave a very shy remark. Isn't it awful hard to do, Mr. Jessner? Now he simply asked whether was it not so very awful, very hard to do such a thing? Means the narrator has told that it was really such a hard task to do something like this. And his answer giving me a sudden smile out of the sardonic redness of his beard. It is a noun. See, ID, it is actually it, IT. The narrator is using slang. The person, Jessner brothers, they speak on a German tone, so the writer has written the same. But for your understanding, write it like it is an art. Now, what it says is, answer that he received from the Jesner brothers had more astonished him, and what he said is simply, he gave the smile very rarely, but this time he gave a smile and he said, it is an act. Himself he was underlined, himself he was a little as if made from leather, and his yellow, crinky face and crinky reddish hair and beard and neat folds slanting down his cheeks to the corner of his mouth. His guttural and one-toned voice, for the leather is sardonic substance and stiff and slow of purpose. And that was the character of his face, save that his eyes, which were grey blue, had in them simple gravity of the secretly possessed by the ideal. Underline till ideal. Start underlining from himself. He was a little as a big from leather, and underline till by the ideal. Now see what happens. The narrator felt as if this person, just the brother, he was also made of leather itself. Why? Because he had just he had such a untouched looks on his face, and not at all getting changed. The leather also, it used to be very, the leather also, the leather is very hard to change. It is very same always.